This is KGW News at 11.
Welcome to KGW News at 11. We begin tonight with a live look at Pioneer Courthouse Square, where another cold front is moving in. And one thing is clear, the Portland metro area is under a winter weather advisory. We bring you team coverage tonight as our crew works to keep you updated on this storm. Art Edwards is standing by in southwest Portland. We'll get to him in a moment. But first, Daisy Caballero is joining us from the Weather Center. And Daisy, several spots across our region are seeing freezing temps tonight.
Yeah, Blair, already seeing those below freezing temperatures. As you can see here, Hillsborough, Forest Grove, and Timber Junction already measuring up at 31 degrees right now. Portland, 36, not quite there yet, but we are expecting to dip down below freezing or right around freezing. But we are seeing those teens over near Pendleton and 24 degrees near the Dalles. Another thing too, it is already raining on the coast. This is a quick look at Newport right now. And again, as this system here, this is our next weather maker that's again going to be bringing us rain and also some snow in some areas. And as you can see here, this entire system is going to move over along the I-5 corridor as we're looking into these next few hours. We'll have that hour by hour look in my full forecast. But another thing, looking at our lows today, many of us saw those teens. We actually saw 17 degrees in Vancouver, 18 in Portland, 16 degrees in Hillsborough. We actually saw 3 degrees over near Pendleton. Now, a few areas did break some previous records, including here in the Portland metro area. Our last previous record was 23 degrees, and that was back in 1969. All right, this is a really quick look at the next 3 days here. Again, we're expecting to see snow and rain for at least these next 3 days, but I'll have that 7-day forecast coming up.
All right, Daisy, thank you. Well, it seems like every time there's a significant snowstorm, traffic comes to a standstill. People leave their cars behind, and that creates even more problems. Cars get towed, and drivers are left to pay hundreds of dollars in fees. Art Edwards joins us live from Southwest Portland. And Art, you talked with a woman who's having to pay a lot of money to get her car back.
Well, she certainly is. You know, this all happened on Wednesday to her. The snowstorm we had caused huge problems for drivers all over the place. The woman that we caught up with was surprised that her car was towed from US 26, but even more surprised when she found out how much it was going to cost to get it back.
Victoria Sharan tried to make the drive from Beaverton to her Portland home on Wednesday. What she encountered was a mess. Standstill traffic on 26. This is the view from an ODOT camera. She only managed to travel a mile in 5 hours. She made the decision to pull off the highway, leave her car, and walk to a safe place.
And I made sure I pulled over. I was in between 2 other cars, and I was able to see the white line on the freeway.
But ODOT tagged her car as a hazard. When she went back to get it on Friday, it had been towed by Anderson Towing. After watching the story on KGW, she figured it would cost $270 to get it back.
When we got there, the charge was $787, and I was devastated.
Sharan says in the future, she would make a different decision about even driving in the snow.
When I was stuck in traffic for 5 hours and not moving, I felt like I was gonna die. It was so scary, and I think in the future I would not risk it.
Now, she also told me that she will try to contest some of those charges at the very least. We reached out to Anderson Towing. We were told by them that they would not have anyone in the office until Monday who could talk to us about those charges. We also talked to ODOT. They said the cars that are deemed a hazard will be towed, although they said they were not aware of anyone charging over $700 for a tow. They said usually the fee is about $250 for a car, SUV, or a truck. Back to you.
All right, Art, thank you. Well, Governor Tina Kotek is declaring a state of emergency in Multnomah County because of freezing temps. It will remain in effect for 1 week. We have a list of warming shelters up on our website now at kgw.com. The city says 800 people stayed in a shelter in the Portland metro area last night. And TriMet is stopping some bus lines tonight because of dangerous road conditions due to the weather. The agency says this change is temporary, but has not said when those routes will come back. Riders can visit trimet.org for the latest updates. This all while many drivers are still dealing with the aftermath of Wednesday's storm. And as we reported this week, people attempted to get home that night but ran into various obstacles. So several left their vehicles, hoping to get them when conditions improved. Alma McCarty has the story of one man surprised to find his car vandalized.
Roads like I-205 are looking a lot better on Saturday than they did earlier this week. I spoke with a man named Joshua, who was one of the many stranded on the road for a long time Wednesday into Thursday. He said he spent more than 17 hours in his car and ultimately decided to abandon it on the side of the road.
An arborist on his commute home from Aloha, Joshua found himself caught in a mess.
There were buses and semis and cars just piled up on top of each other. So that ended up turning into like a 12-hour just parking lot.
He eventually made it to 84 and then 205.
I got stuck there. That was like another 5 hours or something. I just kind of gave up, and I parked my car on the side of the road and started to walk.
He made it back to his home in southeast Portland, only to return to his car on Friday, broken into and vandalized.
They had broken out that window and then went under the hood, and they tried to steal the car. That didn't work, so they tried to steal the battery and the computer. That didn't work, so they tried to rip out the fuses and the relays, and they tried to take the whole thing, and so they ripped out my wiring harness, and so they couldn't get that out, so then they stole everything, and then they just took an axe to like the whole entire engine bay and then into the interior of the car.
Joshua says the axe and the other work gear in the back seat was gone. Glass covered the inside, the front bumper and hood were broken, and the car wouldn't turn on. Overall, a discouraging situation.
I've thought it over a million times, like should I have moved the car somewhere else, but there was really no place to move it. Everybody was stuck.
Then Friday night, a friend with a truck stepped in to help.
48 hours later, now just getting the car home. Thanks to my buddy. Came all the way from Corvallis to help me. He was very nice and tied it up, and we towed it all the way home. So that was awesome. That was like a victory.
At this time, PPB has limited information about possible car prowls or vandalism post-snowstorm, but says these incidents are often reported later on, given the staffing and delays in response times for non-emergency calls. Joshua doubts he's the only victim.
I'm positive that there were other cars that this happened to, and I've had seen several other cars with their windows broke out or their wheels gone. I'm sure it happened to several other people. It wasn't just me.
In Portland, Alma McCarty, KGW News.
Well, we will continue to update you on the latest weather news throughout our show tonight. And for weather updates anytime, just download the KGW News app. Now to other local stories tonight. Law enforcement is looking for this man. Authorities say Christopher Witham was in custody, then walked away from the Marion County Sheriff's Office Transition Center. He left around 7 o'clock tonight. Witham was in custody for parole violation and is facing a robbery charge. If you see him or have another tip, call the Marion County Sheriff's Office at 503-588-5032. Well, Governor Tina Kotek is creating coordination groups to address homelessness in certain areas of the state. On her first day in office, she declared a homelessness state of emergency for regions of the state where homelessness has increased by 50% or more from 2017 to 2022. That's areas such as the Metro region, Central Oregon, and the Willamette Valley. She's now creating multi-agency coordinating groups to target those emergency areas. The goal of the groups is to prevent more than 8,000 households from becoming homeless, add 600 shelter beds, and get at least 1,200 people off the streets, all by January 2024. However, this work depends on the state legislature passing her proposed investment packages. Well, this is the area where a victim was stabbed today. The person was sleeping on the sidewalk when he was attacked. It all happened on the corner of Southeast 38th and Division around noon. The victim was taken to the hospital. He was badly hurt but is expected to recover. At last check, Portland police have not made any arrests.